it up to you. I can't imagine the amount of data that you all are pulling and applying AI and then bringing those products to the warfighter. Different kind of use case than we just heard, but I'm sure fascinating ones. Can you give us an example of one that you'd like to highlight?
Sure. And I'd say actually they're not terribly distinct. Several of the other panelists referenced this challenge going from the relative abundance of cloud resources to, perhaps some sort of disconnected environment where you don't necessarily have all that available to you. So one of our more recent partnerships, experimentations that we did was with the Navy. We actually had one of our team members travel aboard the Carl Vinson in its most recent composite trading unit Computex exercise. And a couple of challenges when you're operating afloat. It is, of course, the definition of disconnected. Certainly, there are times when the vessel is able to connect to cloud resources, but usually you're operating on a soda straw. So moving anything like Juent, which is very large, becomes a challenge in and of itself. So what we were looking at was how do we deliver our data, our detections, our AI output in a way that is usable by the fleet, right? And that is a size issue from a data perspective, but it's also as we sort of look to how this data might be used in more in competition space, right, in competition against an adversary, we need to also be able to sometimes deliver that data without alerting anybody that we're doing that, right? So in this sort of denied environment, how do we deliver the outputs of our AI geospatial models in a way that the vessel is able to use them to enhance their battle space awareness? So we have one of our data scientists out working with a Navy program, Data Science at Sea. It was a really fantastic experiment. I'm not going to go into too many details about how they did what they did, but we had a really fantastic time getting hands-on with the users themselves in figuring out how do we deliver detections without anyone necessarily realizing that we're doing that, but two, and I think also probably most important, how do we integrate those detections with the native data, with the local sensors that vessel may have on board as they operate? And so this is an enduring partnership. It's certainly not over yet, but the primary focus is looking at some dark targets. How do we fuse local data with this AI detections from overhead in a way that is useful? I think this is a really good example too of our sort of ethos and philosophy about meeting users where they're at. I think it's really important from an AI development perspective that you really kind of be on the ground, understand how you can best integrate that AI with the actual workflows of the users. It's not just, I want to dump 2 million detections on them. That's not helpful, but how to deliver the ones that are most useful in a manner that's helpful and in a timeliness that is going to meet mission.